We are literally on a highway to hell. We're about to find out, apparently, what hell's like. Oh well, might be good for the future, eh? So we're on the road to Hell Hole Gorge. Both of us have been wanting to get into this one. The weather is perfect, so off we go. I'm not sure how you're coping with the traffic, Aidan.
Struggling.
You struggling? Struggling with the peak hour?
Yeah, there's been a few obstacles.
Peak hour on the highway to hell. There's like no one out here.
Except the cows.
Except for the cattle, yeah. Aidan, we're not even at the main event yet.
I know.
And it's just like this oasis in the outback. The birds, a few lizards scurrying about, and we come across this. Just imagine what it is like when it's flooding. It'd just be
scary.
It would be scary.
Because it's all over there as well.
Yeah, but the water that is here at the moment looks pretty clean. A few fish. It's just magic. This is us, right?
Yep.
This is us. This is the travel that we like to do. There isn't another soul here in this national park today so far that we've seen. And unlikely to be for whatever reason. This national park was originally part of the Milo Station, which back in the day was the biggest sheep station in the world. And National Park obviously purchased this land, we think back in the 90s.
I think it was the 80s. It was turned into a nature conservation area.
Yeah,
and then National Parks took it over in the 90s, but only in the last 5 or so years they've opened it up to the public. Yes,
so it's relatively new, I guess. This walk is about a 1.5k return walk. You do need to watch your step, and it's also that type of rock that you do kind of, on a day like we've got today, I don't know what the temperature would be, probably in the low 20s, do you reckon?
I think the car was saying 19 as well.
Yeah, it feels a lot warmer on the rock. So that's when all the slithery creatures like to come out and sun themselves. So it is one of those walking tracks that you do need to kind of keep your wits about you, because everything just blends in with the rock. But so far so good. We've arrived at our destination, Hell Hole Waterhole. Let's go and check it out. To quote a famous ad, "Where the bloody hell are you?" We're the only people here in Hell Hole Gorge, Queensland, just outside of Adavale. Absolutely amazing national park. We've finally got to Hell Hole Gorge. And as you can see, at the moment, we're very lucky to have it with some water. It is remote travelling out here. You do need to be prepared, and make sure you are prepared when you're coming out here. We've actually decided to leave the van in Adavale. The National Park sign says no vans in here. We definitely could have got the van in here. And I think if some of you have been here in the last few years, they've probably changed up where you can camp. There is definitely some big rocks in place now where I think people have driven down and camped along these ledges. So there is a flat camping area, Powell's Creek, was it? Powell's camping area. And it's, the walk down here to get into the gorge. Now, we're pretty lucky to see it with some water, I think. Well, as much water as it has at the moment, because when we were looking at some other videos, people were climbing up onto the rock across there.
You can see under the water there, the ledge that you could walk across.
Yes. Yeah, I don't think we'll be attempting that today.
No.
Because we are quite remote doing this one today. I think it was, how many kilometres was it, Aidan, to get out here?
70 at the edge of the park from Adavale, and then we're probably about 8 or 9.
Yeah, so, you know, a good 80 k's on dirt road, couple of creek crossings, but they're not wet at the moment. So obviously to come out here today, we've checked the weather, we've checked the road conditions. We left the van this time back in Adavale, as I said. And when you come out to these national parks, which are remote, you do need to be prepared. So always bring enough water and enough food, gambling on the fact that if you got stuck here, how would you go? Would you be okay until someone could come and find you? We've alerted family where we are, and we've let them know that we will let them know when we get back. Always important to remember to let them know when you're back, just so that they know, someone knows where we are and when we're due back. We do have a first aid kit in the car as well, and we do have a snake bite kit. So we do travel quite prepared. We've been talking about buying a personal locator beacon for when we're doing things like this. This one isn't as remote as some of them that we will do, and we probably will do that in the near future just in case things do go wrong. But, you know, if you're out here and you have a heart attack right now, well, probably not much is going to save you. So you don't have to worry about going straight to hell. You're already here. But anyway, absolutely amazing remote spot to check out if you are in outback Queensland, anywhere near Quilpie or Adavale. We came across from Charleville to Adavale, and Adavale's great to check out as well. So we'll show you a little bit of that too. It's the type of place you really need to sit for a while, isn't it? And just watch and listen. There's loads of little rock pools at the moment too. Quite undercut, cavey in under there. The brochure does say, the National Parks brochure does say to really watch your step on the edges. It's quite crumbly, isn't it, the rock? So you do need to keep your wits about you. Some cool caves down under there. And you can just see how much water flows through here. Magnificent. When this is all flowing from up here, imagine the water cascading down there. Unfortunately, when that happens,
you can't get here.
You probably can't get here. The rock formations and the rock ledges through here are pretty specky. Some pretty nice colours to stop and take in. I don't know about Aidan, but I enjoy exploring all these rocky crevices almost way more than the actual waterhole. Do you, Aidan?
Well, I was just thinking this reminds me a little of a smaller version of Cobalt Gorge.
Yes, which I haven't been to yet. It's on the list, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the gorgy part, which is actually really specky. Because of this gorgy part, the gorgy gorge, the ram is over there, but we have to walk around. But absolutely spectacular walk. This one here is like a nature's washing machine. Look at all those rocks. All nice and smooth from all the water that runs through here.
Spins them around and makes the hole bigger.
Yeah. Nature at work, hey? There you have it, folks. Hellhole Gorge. Not so much hell.
Not to us anyway.
Yeah, a bit more like heaven, I think. Saying to Aidan that for me, and Aidan agreed, that this gorge part, I mean, I've seen a lot of gorges in my travels in Australia, and this is very different, just the way the rock's shaped, and you kind of look at it's small, but you're looking down into it, and it's not so vast that you can't really grasp what the gorge is. The water here at the moment is actually quite fresh. There's some fish down there. I wouldn't be able to get them on camera though. They're a bit elusive. So that'd keep the local wildlife happy, I think. So yeah, definitely worth, I think definitely worth coming and having a look at it and the effort to get here. What do you think, Mr. Aidan Cashman?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth the drive in, and
yeah.
I don't know, you'd want to camp in a tent here because you couldn't get the pegs in, but...
Yes, you'd have to tie your pegs and, your ropes and things up to your car probably, like camp here, and you would be getting no pegs in here.
No, but a camper trailer or something.
Yeah. And you're like me, you've seen a lot of gorges and things. What do you think of like the gorge?
I like it.
Section, yeah.
It's just you can get the whole view in one view.
Yes.
Then you walk around the corner and you get a completely different view. While some of them like Catherine Gorge, it's just
they're
sheerly
huge.
immense.
Yes, I think that's what I like about this one too.
This does remind me a bit of Cobalt Gorge.
Right, well, we better get that happening, hey? I think this is probably as close as what we're going to get to seeing any rock wallabies. But I'll go looking for you anyway. I think it's a bit warm in the day at the moment, but I'll go very quietly down to where they are apparently hanging out, and we'll see if we can find any for you. So this is the Powell Creek camping area. As you can see, it's a big flat area where you can camp. You do need a permit for this, so you need to grab that online before you come in. There's no phone reception here, and there are no facilities, so you need to come prepared to take all your rubbish with you. That includes your toilet rubbish, the whole works, but definitely worth it. If you're keen to see some rock wallabies, the yellow-footed rock wallaby, there is this rocky area which apparently they frequent. Unfortunately for us, it's not the right time of the day. They're probably all, could possibly be under the ledges that we're standing on right now, hiding away, and they'll be out kind of again in dusk. But they are actually really hard to spot as well because they're quite small and they camouflage so well into the rock. But it would be really nice to be out here at dusk and just sit and watch. There's lots of poo around, so they are definitely about. In Ada Vale. I'm not sure, Aidan, do you think it's a bit busy?
Well, it is, as the sign says, simply unique.
Very unique, and it's our type of place, everyone. Only about 15 to 20 people live here. And we came looking for their old dump because apparently it was just like a treasure trove of things to look at from back in the day. But it's near the Blackwater Creek which is obviously in recent times flooded, and we're pretty sure that what you see on the internet, most things have been probably covered in all this mud and slush. So this is all we could find. Still, to me, it's a treasure trove. All this old glass, I love looking at it. Just look how thick it was. And this is all that remains of what was apparently the Dog and Vomit pub that was here. But now it's long gone. We definitely found the right spot, didn't we?
Yeah.
Hey?
Pity it's kind of covered in mud. And
Oh, I know. Well, I guess it's become real treasure now. It'll maybe will be uncovered another day by someone, could be in the future, many, many years away.
an old belt buckle.
Yeah, I just saw an old belt buckle. I was just looking for that. They just tell such stories, all of this
Nails.
stuff, nails, and I love like finding all the bits of old pottery. It's just so cool to have a look at and to imagine the stories that go along with it. But anyway, now it's covered in mud, grass, and someone else can look for it in the future. Ada Vale has its own mini museum, but I just said to Aidan, is the phone box the museum or is the shed the museum? It's a help yourself museum, but we're not the only ones here by the looks of it. This little guy. Oh. Did you see how fast he went? Did he go, sorry guys, you probably missed that. Did he shoot up a pole or something?
Straight in under the museum.
He's a pretty cool lizard. Anyhow, geez, I haven't seen a phone box for a while. And I'm not sure that you'd be making too many calls with that system. But it is great that some of this history is preserved, no matter how tiny the town, with only the, 20 odd people. I think that was the lizard again. 20 odd people that are living here.
Come in the door.
Yes, I will come in the door. Door or gate? Do I have to pay admission, kind sir?
I need to get out.
So lots of old relics in here. Lots of air conditioning. It's just we made it back from Hellhole Gorge in a little tour around Ada Vale, and as you can see, we're fighting for room at our donation camp. There's one van here, but apparently that guy's gone walkabout at the moment. The community hall, and just the flags blowing in the breeze. Getting ready for, Aidan's been busy gathering wood, man make fire tonight. And we've had a great little stay in Ada Vale. Wouldn't you say, Aidan?
Yes, very relaxing.
Aidan in Ada Vale. On the outside of the community hall, you can, which is where the donation camp is, you can do a walk around and learn all about the history of Ada Vale. And I thought it was pretty cool that legend has it that Ada Vale got its name because a lady called Ada lost her veil when a freak gust of wind blew it away, and her husband at the time, I don't think, could catch it. That's what the rumour is. So definitely a great little spot to come and stop. Just show you, there's some toilets and showers. There is power and water available if you need it. And I will say that the sunset that was here last night, the sunset we had, to get those beautiful blues and colours. So definitely worth coming and checking out. I'm not sure if I mentioned, but the Quilpie Shire provides these amenities and use of visitors travelling through the Shire, so including the donation camp, and your donations go to the Royal Flying Doctor Service. So that is great. Another reason to stay. If anyone gets unruly, young man, you'll be locked up in the Ada Vale prison right here.
Maybe you'll be sleeping there tonight.
Is it a worry that it's on the campsite? Oh, and lastly, there's these great fire pits as well. You can have a really good fire in those. And barbecue, rubbish bins, and a wash-up sink. What more could you want, eh? And make fire. And he's a happy chappy. Aren't you? Hmm?
Well, if we get the fire going, I will be. It's fairly hard wood. Dry.
Need a bit more kindling. Golden hour, Aidan. It's looking pretty good, isn't it? Magic. I think the stars are going to be great tonight.